Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in once again for another action-packed show. As in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing the topic of loved ones in spirit by your side. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. And then later on in this episode, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So, as I say, we're going to be discussing the topic today, loved ones in spirit by your side. So first of all, let's just address the elephant in the room, so to speak. Most people think that when their loved ones pass over to spirit that they have to address them in a certain manner and that, hello, are you okay over there? You know, like that, robotic and very sort of like disciplined. And I've got to say to you that your loved ones are still the same. They have the same characteristics, the same personalities. And so you can talk to them as you always have done. You know, if you called them funny names and they appreciated it and they laughed, do that. Talk to them normal. By doing this, it will bring them in even closer. You imagine if, when you're in spirit and your loved ones are going, hello, Glenn, are you all right over there? You're going to be like, from your perspective, what the heck is wrong with them? Why are they talking to me like I'm a wally or an idiot? You know, I'm still the same. I haven't changed. So just remember that when you're connecting and wanting to get that communication flowing and running with your loved ones, they haven't changed. You know, they've just changed form. They haven't changed their personalities. They may have a deeper understanding of the universe and the principles of the universe. However, their personality, their mannerisms, their persona is still the same. So don't be frightened of it. Don't put them on a pedestal as such. You know, yes, show them that love and respect, but speak to them as you normally would. With me saying that they have just changed form, obviously you know them in the form of their physical body. Okay, and you know their persona, their personality, their characteristics, their quirks. You know all of that. So what I mean by changing form, obviously they've moved from a physical body into a spiritual body or an energetic body. And the analogy I'd like to use to demonstrate and share this is basically you imagine the music industry, okay? You imagine a vinyl record. That vinyl record's got all the album on there of the artist that you like and you love that album. And then as time progresses, technology moves on and then the CD. That album, the music still's the same. It's just on a different format. And then as it progresses, it went to MP3, didn't it? The music's still there. You can enjoy the music and enjoy everything you like about it, but it's in an MP3. And now obviously it's moved to streaming. So again, it's changed its format more, but you can still enjoy that music. You can still have that experience and have that interaction with it. And so you see where I'm going with this. This is the analogy I like to use. Obviously, vinyl, a great format. I'm still a lover of vinyl. And one of the reasons I like it is it's tangible. You can touch it. It has a smell. It has an experience. You can look at the cover art. It's larger, so you can really get involved as you're listening to the music. You can read the sleeve notes, production notes, read through the lyrics. You can do all that with vinyl. And I love that experience. I would use that analogy like the physical body. You know, we can have that one-on-one experience. However, you know, over time I've embraced technology and MP3s and streaming and all of that. I'm still having enjoyment of it. I'm still having interactions with the music. I'm loving it. It's not quite the same as vinyl, as you know. Vinyl has a feeling, a vibe about it. However, I can still have that experience. And so this is basically what our loved ones in spirit have gone through. They're still the same. They've just changed their form. So bear that in mind. Don't be intimidated. Don't be frightened by it. They're not going to harm you. They're not going to scare you. That's not their intention. You can still communicate with them. It's just changed form. It's on a different level, different set of rules, but you can still communicate with them. So I want to talk about knowing how to spot them, your loved ones, when they have passed over into spirit. How do you know they're around you, for example? Well, spirit are very subtle. And obviously they haven't got the physicality anymore, but they have got the intellect. They have got the energy. They can build and manipulate energy, but they have got to learn how to do that when they make their transition. So it's very much, in my belief and what I've been told by my guide, my spirit guide, it's very much thought, and where you place your focused intention on that's what you can achieve from an energetic body and a spiritual perspective. So, for example, if your loved one in spirit they'd never been to America, for example, in the earth plane, and they'd always wanted to go there and just experience it and what it was like. In spirit, they'd only have to have that thought, that intention, that direct focus, and they could experience America. They could have that experience. You can have and experience anything and do anything. And that's just what I've been told from my guide. So it's focused intention. And so it will take focused intention for your friends and family to come down and visit you. I say come down, but really they haven't gone anywhere. They've just changed form. It's the fact that you're not dialed into that form, that frequency. And this is why you're missing them, because you can't tangibly touch them, see them, have the interactions like you used to. But they are there. They are there. And the subtle signs that they will leave and show you, one of the easiest ones that spirit will use is when you're in sleeping state, when you're fully out, full night's sleep, and they will enter your dreams. This is one of the easiest ways that they can contact you. So you may have a dream about them, and they may be doing something rather unusual in that dream. Lots of symbolic references in that dream, and you may wake up the next day and share your experience with a family member or a friend and say, this was ever so strange. I had this dream about my dad or whoever last night, and they was holding a giant ice cream, or they was doing something really random. Well, I would say that, first of all, got your attention, didn't it? It woke you up, not literally, but woke you up mentally, got your attention. You was aware that they were there in that dream. And I would say just to inspect or dive a little bit deeper into that symbology, because there will be a message in that, and they're trying to help you and communicate with you in that way. And just go beyond what you see, because, different symbolisms have different meanings. I mean, I like to give the example to my students when we're in class. If a spirit communicator shows you a dog in your mind and you think, why are you showing me a dog for? What's that got to do with anything in this client? Well, diving a little bit deeper is where you say, right, okay, a dog is sometimes called a K9. Okay, so you've got the letter K, and maybe that's relevant to the message. You've got the number 9. Go and research the angel number for that. That will be a message. A dog, what color is the dog? Okay, the color will have a message in it. How does that color make you feel? That will have a healing quality in it. Also, what breed of dog is it? Maybe that breed of dog has a message in it as well, if you dive deeper. And what does the dog look like? What's its temperament? How's it holding its energy? How's it standing? Does it look angry? Does it look like it wants to play and have some fun? That is a message in itself. And a dog quite typically has 4 legs. So we've got the number 4. Again, research that as an angel number. They say that a dog is a man's best friend as well. So you've got that that as a message as well. And so you can see how you can dive deep and deep and deep and deep with just one symbolic message. So whatever the symbolism you're being shown in your dream state, look into it like I've just described there. You will be so amazed how much information you will be able to extract from that symbolism that your loved one is bringing into you via dream state. Like I say, this is one of the easiest ways that they can do to communicate with you. And why is that, I hear you cry? It's because your guard is down. You know, your energy blocks, your belief systems, oh, that'll never happen to me. Oh, that's a load of nonsense. They can't come back. Once they've gone, they've gone. It's not the case, you see. So when your guard is down in sleep state, your loved ones can then communicate and message you in this fashion as well. But what they can also do is, I'm sure many of you listening to this have had this happen to you many occasions, where I believe they called the term an earworm, where you have a song in your head. The minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, you've got this song in your head all day and you can't seem to get it out of your head. You need to listen to it. This is also a way of spirit communicating with you. Maybe the lyrics in that song, there's a message in that for you to explore on a deeper level. Maybe the actual tune and the music holds a memory link with that person in spirit. You may have shared a love and a passion for that artist and that song. Also, the healing codes, the frequencies within the sonics of that music will also be forming a form of healing for you by holding that song in your vibration, in your consciousness, in your mind there. So you can see how all of these elements, it's not just surface area when you hear a song in your head all day. There's method in the madness, and your loved ones in the world of spirit are doing their utmost to convey a message, to let you know that they are around you, and also to support you by having healing codes in that music, in that song, and they know that you need that support, you need that healing at that moment in time. So the next time this happens to you, don't just brush it to one side. Do a little bit of homework, dive deep. You'll be so amazed what you'll uncover once you start seeing things and experiencing things different. Like I say, it's very, very subtle, so you have to be paying attention. Also, your loved ones in spirit can use the path of least resistance with their communications. So they'll do this by entering your thought vibration, by placing a word in your head, a thought, an idea, an inspiration. Maybe this inspiration is to help you through a difficult situation in your life. And usually you don't think in this manner, and you would have never had that conscious thought because you're too consumed with the issue or the problem that you're going through at that moment in time. Then all of a sudden you get this eureka moment. I would say 9 times out of 10, this is influence from spirit, from a loved one there that's wanting to help you. They are still around you and they're delivering those words. And again, it's up to you to explore them and dive deeper than you possibly would do on a daily basis. Go a little bit deeper. Also, they can impose feelings on you, emotions. And some of these feelings are there to serve and help you and guide you as well. So, I would say a typical example, if you're an anxious person and an opportunity comes your way, and your old belief systems around the triggers that cause those anxious feelings, all of that is amplified and you feel overwhelmed and you just can't get a handle on this opportunity that's entered your life. And your natural response is, oh, I'm not going to do that because it's making me feel like this. No, I'm not going to go and do that. All of a sudden, you get a feeling out of the blue, a fire in your belly, in your gut, an instinctual feeling that just because you're feeling this anxiety, this, I would say, fire in your gut is propelling you forward to move through it. Where previously you would have said, no, I'm not doing that, and that would be the end of things. But this passion, this enthusiasm, this drive is forcing you to do it, and you cannot shake it off. You have to do it. It's just one of those feelings. You have to follow it through. I would suggest that this is also a loved one in spirit, your family members, encouraging you, helping you. They see the bigger picture. They see the other side of that situation, and they know that this is an opportunity that you need to move into. And so they're encouraging you, they're helping you come to the conclusion to do it for yourself, but they're helping you behind the scenes. So spirit can work in these miraculous ways. Like I say, it's very subtle. It's not always right in your face and obvious. Sometimes it can be, but not always. Well, let's look at some of the signs that your spirit, family, friends, and loved ones can be showing you without you potentially even realizing. So I'm going to talk you through this. Basically, they have the ability, with their intention, with their thoughts, with their focused, dialed in attention, they can actually move objects, even though they have no physical body. And they do this by manipulating the frequencies in those objects and their frequencies coming into alignment. And then with that focused intention, they can move these objects. Maybe these objects are linked to them. Maybe it's an item of clothing or something they handed down to you to remember them by. And with the fact that that object is moving, instantly you think of them and you think, that's strange. You know, my dad's trophy has just moved, for example. And you're like, oh, that's unusual. Nobody's touched it. And you go through all the rationalities of that and then come to the conclusion, oh, it has to be them. There's no other explanation for it. So they can do that. They can also put you in the right place at the right time, obviously in conjunction with your higher self, your spirit guide, and your soul group, to get all of those elements in line so that they can place you in a time and space where you either see a number or you see repetitive numbers. Again, I always encourage people to research these as angel numbers. So you can go online, type in angel number, meaning for, type in the number that you've seen repetitive times, and then read the paragraph of information. This will be a direct message that you need to know at this moment in time that will help you flourish on your timeline in your life. Also, other signs to look out for is music. We've mentioned this earlier about having an earworm, but actually you can hear it with your physical ears in earshot. And your guides, your loved ones in spirit, may play a song on the radio just as you're thinking of a loved one, and they play the song that they loved and enjoyed and that you associate with them. Again, this is direct information to let you know they haven't gone anywhere. They're right by your side. They're with you all times, and they're there to prove that and help you along your way. It may even be a sentence. You're watching the TV and, you know, you're thinking about a loved one, and the next minute on the TV, a sentence is spoken. That sentence is just the exact word for word that either your late friend or family member used to say. The exact same style, how they used to say it has just been mentioned. Again, there's no coincidences. It's all synchronicity. There's lots of work that goes in behind the scenes to match up all of those vibrations so that you're at the right place at the right time, to have that thought of the loved one and then to experience that. It really blows my mind how they do this behind the scenes. It's fascinating. But also seeing animals. You've all heard people talk about, okay, so when you see a robin redbreast, a little bird there, this is, and I would agree with people, this is a sign to let you know that this is a message from your loved one, to let you know that they're still around. So when you do see a robin, I would always encourage you to just observe your mind. Who comes into your mind? Which family member, which friend, which loved one? And that will be who is coming forward to let you know. In my experience, this has always been the case. I would say spirit will also utilize all of your other senses, such as smells, such as tastes as well. They will use the path of least resistance to communicate with you. And your family members in spirit and friends in spirit are no different. So all of a sudden, if you're You're chilling out, you're in your living room over the weekend, maybe watching a TV show or a film or something, and all of a sudden you get this waft of aftershave and you're like, I haven't smelled that aftershave for years. And then in your mind, you're working it out. Where have I smelt that smell before? Where have I smelt that aftershave before? And then it dawns on you, my dad used to wear that aftershave. And then you realize, well, actually, I haven't got that aftershave in this house. I don't even know you can buy it anymore. So how can I smell that smell? And I got a waft of it very instantaneously. Again, it's because your loved ones in spirit are drawing forward. They're using the path of least resistance to let you know that they're around, and they want to prove that to you. So they'll do that. Also, they'll put tastes and flavors into your mouth, into your palate. What I mean by this, and I'm sure you've had this, many of us do, without even realizing or assessing it further. You could be doing anything. You could be at work. You could be driving in your car or whatever. And all of a sudden, you get this direct taste in your mouth and you're like, what is that taste? I know it, but it's not something I'm directly familiar with. What is that taste? And anyway, you're racking your brains again and you're thinking, I know what that taste is. That takes me back when we had Christmas. And it was that Christmas that we didn't have turkey, and instead we had to have this substitute meat or whatever. You know, I'm just giving an example now. And then you can associate who was there when I was eating that Christmas dinner. Oh, yes, you know, this person was there. They're no longer with us anymore. They're in spirit. Again, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and you'll be able to, I would say, investigate further and get the information who it is that's bringing that random taste into your vibration. Again, as I say, spirit will use the path of least resistance to let you know that they're around and to tell their story. So take notes, do some investigation in your mind, dig deeper rather than just scratching the surface saying, oh, that's unusual. I can taste, I don't know, blancmange. Oh, how weird is that? Never mind. Dive a little bit deeper. You'll be surprised where it leads you. And it's fascinating. And you get such a beautiful feeling when you realize that this is the case, and the amount of effort that has gone into this communication behind the scenes just to get your attention and to pass on that message of love. And that's predominantly what it is, a message of love to let you know that you are very much cared for and supported. Let's talk about direct communication from a loved one in spirit. Now, I've been very fortunate to have this experience on several occasions, and many of you know that my dad is in spirit, and this is one of the direct communications I received from him. Well, many years ago, not long after my dad passed away, all of a sudden this opportunity came out of the blue, which I'm almost 100% certain my dad, although he was in the spirit world, had something to do with it. And this was the fact that I got invited to join a band. And I was excited because I hadn't played the drums for about 4 years. I had all the priorities. And it was such an exciting, prospect for me to be joining this band again. And as many of you know, drummers, they have drummers' carpets. And what that is, basically, you have a carpet to place your drums on so that when you're at a venue or on a stage, you don't scratch the surface of that flooring with your drums, because a lot of the drums have spears or spikes on them to stop them moving around whilst you're playing. So at the time, I'd got rid of my drummer's carpet, but I remembered in storage, I had a carpet that my dad gave me and my mum gave me when they had a new carpet installed in their front room. And so I thought, oh, I've still got that carpet. Right, I need to cut this down to size. So anyway, I set my drums up. I did some measurements. And then I was thinking, oh, how do I cut this? Because carpet's quite tough, isn't it? How do I cut this without ruining my own floor in doing it? The next minute, at that moment, my dad's voice came in. I heard it in my head, loud and clear, as if he was stood at the side of me. And he said to me, Glenn, go in that toolbox that I gave you. There's the curved knife, looks like a saber. It's a handheld knife. You need that. That's what I used to use to cut carpet. That'll work and that'll get the job done. And I couldn't believe it. I went in the toolbox my dad gave me. As sure as eggs are eggs, that knife was there. He was describing to me the saber-shaped knife. And so I listened to him and I'm cutting away. I'm trimming the carpet down to size so that my drums fitted it perfectly. And as you know, there's going to be some offcuts from this carpet. So there was a few odds and ends offcuts. The next minute, I heard my dad's voice saying, don't throw that away. You can use that. You can put that near your living room door and it will stop the cat from scratching your floor. And I was like, oh, I was a little bit shocked again, hearing my dad's voice, loud and clear. And then at this stage, I then communicated with my dad and I said, Dad, I appreciate your help. Thank you so much. But the carpet in the room is green and the carpet that I've just cut for my drums is, I want to say, salmon red, salmon pink. Says that's going to look weird. Those two colours don't go together. Now, to most people, this wouldn't mean anything. But to me, it proved that this was my dad giving me that communication. Even though I could hear him in his own voice, my dad, the way I knew it was great evidence is because my dad was very practical and he didn't see things like that colour goes with this colour, that goes with that. He just saw it as it solves a problem. You know, put that there, problem solved, you'll be all right. Didn't care less how it looked. So to me, that was perfect evidence to let me know, as well as hearing my dad's voice, in his voice, and the information, that this was definitely my dad. So I've had that experience, and that was a beautiful one. Another experience I've had, direct experience, although at the time it was a little bit of a shock. Now, on this experience, I didn't hear any voices as such. And I'll just set the scene for you. As you know, I've got two daughters. This was many years ago now. I was preparing their tea, their food. I'd made their food. They'd just come back from school. They were watching the kids' TV shows on the television as I was walking in, bringing their food in on a tray. I'm walking through into the living room. The next minute, as you can imagine, I've got both my hands occupied holding this tray. The next minute, I could feel fingers being shoved up my nostrils and my nose was being stretched. And I made a noise. As you can imagine, you don't expect that. My daughters looked at me. They saw my nose being stretched and me making this funny noise. And they said, Dad, what's up with you? What's the matter with you? And anyway, my nose returned to normal. And I was like, no way. You'll never believe this. Somebody's just put their fingers up my nose. And it was like, you what? Anyway, it was clearly spirit that was doing it. Anyway, I was a little bit shocked and surprised, as you would be. You know, my hands were occupied, couldn't do anything. So I put down the tray, I connected in with my spirit guide, and I asked, what's going on? Who's this? Who's doing that? He's putting their fingers up my nose. They don't have my permission to do that. Who is it? Anyway, upon speaking with my guide, I was then told that it was my uncle. And what makes this more incredible is the evidence behind that I know it was my uncle. Because my uncle, when he was living, once told me a story when I was, I would say, in my early teenage years. And he was, I would say, I use the term showboating a little because my uncle used to be in the armed forces. He was a soldier, if you will. And anyway, I remember him telling me this story when I was a teenager, that there was somebody there that, because my uncle wasn't tall in height, somebody in the armed forces that was having a go at him. And so my uncle said, well, what I told him to do, I spoke to him, I was quite firm. And he said this guy was carrying on, he wouldn't listen, he was doing this, that and the other. And he says, so what my uncle did, what he did is he put his fingers up this guy's nose because he was taller than him. and he dragged him outside by his nose with his 2 fingers. And yeah, it's probably a tall tale, granted, but I remember my uncle telling me that when I was around 12 or 13, something like that. And I was quite shocked and surprised and amazed and thought, wow, my uncle's cool, at that point. And anyway, to me, when my guide said it's your uncle, they mentioned my uncle's name, and then I got shown that story and that period in my life where he told me that story. So to me, that was direct evidence that was my uncle that did that. He didn't mean any harm. He was being playful. He was bringing forward the evidence. It wasn't direct voice like my dad. But however, with that liaising with my spirit guide, I got the information and I got the evidence there that it was my uncle. So that is incredible. So do watch out for that. Spirit can do this. They don't mean you any harm. I certainly didn't feel violated. Initially I did, but when I had that conversation and looked more into it, I understood the message. So bear that in mind, because some people feel that if your clothes are being tugged or you're getting touched on your physical body, that this is spirit trying to hurt you or harm you. It's not necessarily the case. It's a way of them getting your attention or indeed conveying a story to you, like the one I've just shared with you regarding my uncle. But also what you will find when your loved ones in spirit are by your side is you will feel their love. And it's a love like nothing else. I have this sensation when my dad's around, but it's at its strongest when I go and visit his graveside. Now I feel this overwhelming sense of unconditional love and healing in my heart. And it feels like my heart is expanding, on the verge of exploding, because it feels so large, so joyous, so full of love, connectivity, respect, and it's so pure. And I get that every time I visit my dad's graveside, and it's such a beautiful feeling. But I've had it on other occasions, obviously, when they come to visit, plus other family members. I get that warming on my heart, and it's like a feeling like nothing else. But I don't get it to the magnitude that I do when I visit my dad's graveside, which is something else. And every time I feel the need to speak to my dad on a deeper level and experience that unconditional love on that level, then I listen to that calling and I go and visit my dad's graveside. And it's a beautiful, sacred experience. I can't really put it into any more words than what I've already done for you. But yeah, absolutely incredible. So also visually, you can see a loved one depending upon the vibration you're emitting, vibrations of the atmosphere, the vibrations of the spirit communicator. As I say, there's lots of effort and work that goes behind the scenes, matching all of these alignments and frequencies. You've got to be in the right place in your mind to be open to seeing visually and not being too, I would say, held down by your belief systems or blockages that you're holding. But I can give you a quick reference. I've had this experience of several times seeing loved ones. One of them was with my cat. And this was interesting because that morning I just dropped my cat off at the vet, and she was due in to have a scan and, basically looked at potentially surgery, but not definitely, more for the scan. And, so they advised that I left the cat with them. So I drives back home and I'm doing my house jobs. I'm putting the washing away. I'm, doing ironing and things like that. And I'm folding these towels up and I'm putting them in the wardrobe. And, so I'm bending down, putting them in the wardrobe. Just at that moment, as I go to put these towels in the wardrobe, I see my cat lying on the towels like she always did. This is the cat, by the way, that I just probably 30 minutes ago taken to the vet, and I could see her large as life, clear as day, as if she was there. And I was rubbing my eyes. I was like, what the heck? I've just took you to the vet. Anyway, about 2 minutes later, after seeing that image of her and experiencing that, I got a phone call from the vet, didn't I? And they let me know that unfortunately the cat, Tia, her name was, that I'd taken in half an hour earlier had passed away on the examination table. They hadn't done any of the scans. They hadn't done anything. And they didn't understand why. Maybe it was the shock of being there, and with her having a weak heart, that would have done it. But that was incredible, because I did see her with my physical eyes, and she was real, as large as life, as she always was, what she always used to do, lie in the towels. So to me, that was direct evidence to let me know that, she was saying her goodbyes to me. And it was remarkable, honestly. But also, you can feel your loved one's presence as well around you. But to round this conversation off, I just want to let you know as well that they are around you to support you and to encourage you. So don't be scared of them. Don't be scared of them. They've just changed form, as I said earlier. Nothing else. They still have the same characteristics. They have the same persona, same personality. So as I said earlier, speak to them normal, as you always would have, rather than saying, "Hello, are you okay? I don't know what to ask you. Is it all right up there?" Obviously, that's going to halt the proceedings, isn't it? They can say, "What's wrong with them? Why won't they talk to me normal?" Like I said earlier. Just say, "Hey up, how you going on? You all right? What's it like? Oh, it's lovely to see you. Have you seen Grandma up there? Is she all right?" That kind of style of communication. You don't have to use the local slangs like I'm using, but you can see my point. Be natural. Be natural, communicate with them naturally, and you'll be surprised at what responses you get back. And it will flow. You'll hold their communication link for longer. You'll be aware of them for longer, and you'll also experience their beautiful energy that they're sharing with you to help guide you, heal you, and encourage you moving forward. So I hope this little conversation has given you something to consider about your loved ones in the world of spirit. That yes, although we're saying they're in the world of spirit, in other words, they've changed form, but really, they haven't gone anywhere. They're always around you. They're always by your side. They're a thought away. If you think, well, they're not at the side of me now, I can't sense them, think of them. Put them in your thoughts. Visualize them in your mind. Hold them dear to your heart. Say their name out loud. Call them in. Do all of these elements at the same time, and you will find that you will have that experience with them. We're now going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading, which sees myself becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdoms and communications through. Slightly ahead of doing that, though, I'd like to touch base with you all and see how are you all doing? Have you noticed any substantial changes in your life or your vibration or maybe your sensitivity? I just thought I'd throw that out there because, sometimes we need that reminder in order just to tap in with ourselves and say, oh, actually, I'm feeling this. Oh, actually, I noticed this. Personally, I've seen quite a few spirits in my house, as I mentioned many, many times, but recently as well. One of these was my dad, and I just saw his outline. I saw his shadow, his silhouette on the top of the stairs. So I goes up to inspect, and I felt his energy. I felt that tingle, that vibration there. And anyway, I came back downstairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, in the living room near the stairs, one of our cats, we have one cat in the physical, we have others in spirit, but anyway, a cat toy was at the bottom of the stairs, and this cat toy is one of those that have like a squirrel on it with a bit of string, and then you've got like a fishing rod so that you can pull it. Well, anyway, it was gathered in a lump in a pile at the bottom, and upon looking at it, it had a treble clef, which is a musical symbol, should I say, and then directly underneath that we have the letter E, and it was formed out of the wire of the cat toy, and the cat hadn't been playing with it, nobody had touched it, and to me that was amazing evidence that I did just witness and see my dad because my dad on his headstone, he has a treble clef, the musical symbol that I've mentioned, and then his name was Eric, beginning with E. So to see that directly after seeing my dad's silhouette at the top of the stairs was amazing evidence. So I really enjoyed that this week. So also I've been paying attention to my physical health. I'm up and running. I feel great now because I'm back at the gym, keeping fit 4 times a week. So I'm happy about that. Many of you know I've gone through some recuperation because I had to have an operation. And so all of the physical exercise that I do weekly had to stop so I could focus my energy upon healing and getting better, which was frustrating for most of you that are very active and you're having to slow down and completely stop. It is frustrating. So I'm so pleased to be out there at the gym again, sweating away like everybody else and just feeling so blessed to be there. Where I dare say most people that go to the gym feel like it's a sacrifice. Oh, here I go again. Do I really have to do this? And I see it as an absolute privilege, particularly because I wasn't able to do that. So I look forward to that process. So that's what I've been up to recently. Anyway, I hope everybody's okay. So we're going to move into the next segment of the show, like I say, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So if you wish to take any notes or bullet points, please feel free to do that. But sit back and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
Hello. Thank you for allowing me to come forward. My name is Ian St. Clement, and I have been granted this beautiful opportunity to come and speak about your energy body. Your energy body is the mere essence that keeps you moving from one thing to the next location on your timeline. This energy body of yours is the thought processes of all of your thinking. It is the navigational compass that sets you on target. Many of you talk about having free will, and in many respects you have, but you have made a soul agreement, a soul alignment, and your energy body reacts and comes into position with that alignment so that you can fulfill your prophecy. Your energy is very sacred, and it shall be treated as such, because a lot of you are diluting it and giving your power away to other people's agendas. And that is no true word is spoken in these particular unusual times that you are all going through. We're here today to tell you to reclaim your authenticity, as there's a lot of people and vibrations around you that are wanting to steal that from you, in order to take your essence, your power, your energy, to fulfill and yield your energy into their own projects and tasks that is designed to keep you small, regimented, and not having your own original thoughts. However, there will be those around you that will want to leech and steal your ideas and thoughts and make claim of them for their own purposes. Also, they'll wish to take the credit for them as well. We want to tell you that your energy body, your vibration is very precious, and it should not be taken lightly. You should be now at least putting some sort of intentional protection around you each and every day to stop these processes and thefts of energy of yours from occurring. Your energy is changing, as a lot of you that are sensitive are beginning to realize. You are finding yourself spending longer periods in your own company, and so some of you this will be such an annoyance that you'll be wanting more people around you. And we say that during these time periods you are healing. You are changing your vibration, and you are ridding yourself of the old belief systems and patterns that you've clung on to for such a long period of time. A deep energetic cleanse is occurring to the point where you're releasing the old subconscious belief systems that have kept you anchored and small for such a long period of time. And when you emerge from this chrysalis of energy and vibration, you will all arise as a natural-born leader, and you will follow your instincts and do what is calling you, instead of following the herd. You're all going to be living more authentically in this way, in this manner. Your energy body also, it has the potential to leech off of other vibrationals around you. We mean by you can forge attachments at an energetic level based upon your mood and the vibration that you're carrying. You may find that you will attract various other entities and energy forms in your direction. So as we've said earlier, protection is paramount at these times. You will know when you have some form of attachment because you will start to feel like your energy is being drained. You'll have impure thoughts. You'll also notice that there will be a sense of tiredness, and you'll have a sense of feeling hungry far too often than not. And this is you feeding literally that energy source that is robbing you of your prime creator vibration. And the reason for this is a lot of these entities and beings are in fact devoid of prime creator energy. They've elected not to be a part of it. Yet they need energy to survive and thrive in your dimension. So a lot of the time, these entities and beings will pull your vibration down by manipulating your thoughts and your feelings to that of a lower vibration in order to yield and steal that energy that you are creating. For these beings can manipulate situations, but they cannot manifest. They cannot manifest these things into form. They rely upon you and your intellect and your creativity and your energy source in order to manifest these lower vibrational emotions, thoughts, and situations in order to create them. They do not have that power to do that. They rely upon you. So with us telling you this, in order to stop this fatality occurring time after time after time in your historic books, we assure you that you are the middleman. So if you rid them of receiving that source energy from yourself by keeping yourself in a higher vibrational sense of consciousness and keeping your energy buoyant and staying in your lone lane and trusting your beautiful divine process, then they cannot leech from you. They cannot take from your yield of energy and manipulate it into their desires. They cannot do that because they will not be permitted to come into your vibration, because it is of a high vibration and it literally repels them from you. So we do not wish to make this conversation a doom and gloom piece, not at all. We're here to tell you the facts and the realities of what's happening with your energy body. There'll be some of you that will be feeling elated, full of energy, full of beams, and are just moving into new vistas and dimensions. And you'll leave a lot of people feeling perplexed, puzzled of how you are doing this. And we say you're doing it by trusting your inner energy. You're eradicating all those things that do not match you vibrationally, and you're staying strong and standing steadfast in the vibration of your soul's alignment. And this is how you are doing it. You are trusting, you are following your truth, and you are standing in your power, resilient as you are, as other people. And this is not to judge other people, but other people look on in awe at your direction and wonder how you're doing it. You're doing it because you're connecting and protecting your energy with intention, and the love that you resonate from you will go out to those people that require and need it to help them ascend on their energetic journey, and to also help them with forms of protection, stopping any lower-based entities from stealing from them on an energetic level. We hope this conversation has been informative, yet to the point with you, as it is needed at this moment in time. One more thing we wish to communicate with you. Your energy will also create your reality. So you'll notice that your reality, your physical presence will begin to change. you'll notice that you'll come into alignment with what is needed for your life's purpose. And those things will come to you rather than you going chasing after them. And it will feel rather peculiar when you come into this vibrational alignment, because everything that you've been taught about working so hard and pushing forward will be an absolute lie and illusion. In actual fact, you have to get aligned energetically with everything. And then once you're aligned with it, depending upon your stronghold with that vibration and your resilience to it, will manifest very rapidly and quickly what you need and desire into your timeline. So it's a case of unlearning everything you've learned and relearning the truth of who you are. It's going to set you free. We thank you for taking this marvelous opportunity in listening to the conversations that we've had with you. Before we do go, we have an element of sound healing we wish to share with you, to keep you on that energetic focus on your timeline with your vibrational energy body. So thank you. Here is the sound healing.
Incredible transmission there from the world of spirit. Fascinating to hear about our energy body and how our thought processes play a role in governing it. Also that we all have free will and we have that choice in any one given moment in time. And we've all made a soul contract prior to us incarnating into this dimension. So it's about tapping into that and just respecting the process by honoring our vibration and witnessing that our vibration knows best. So maybe release that grip and trust the process. Also noticing that a lot of us are spending some time alone, maybe more than most, and not to worry about that, because in fact what is happening, we're going through a healing process where we're releasing some of those old hurts, those old belief systems, so that we can connect in with our highest version of self. Interesting also to hear about not letting others steal your ideas or thoughts. And by setting some healthy boundaries around yourself, energetically, emotionally, intentionally setting those protection principles around yourself to stand in your own truth and stand in your own power as well, as this will be protecting your energy so that you can continue to be the divine spark that you are. Very interesting to hear that. And also obviously protecting your energy, not just doing it once a week, but doing it daily, making it part of your ritual so that you can stay protected. You can shine your highest light and be your true, authentic self. Also, the fact that we need to connect inwardly, because we are all natural born leaders should we choose to accept that? And there's nothing to fear in that process when we allow ourselves just to trust, go with the flow, connecting with our soul purpose and our higher self, and then just be aware of that energy governing us along the way there. And we do this by stepping out of the way, trusting and feeling that energy propelling us forward. I mean, how many of us have had that gut instinct, that fire, that passion in our belly there driving us forward? And we don't know the answers. We just feel this energy. We can't shake it off. We can't ignore it. It's just there. So trust it. It has an intelligence about it. Definitely. And just be aware of attachments, or at least entities, or I don't wish to scare by saying this, but there is things out there that do want to pull your vibration down so that they can put you in fear state, so that they can harvest your energy in order for them to survive. So just be aware. Again, protection seems to be coming up quite a few times in today's transmission. So just be aware of that. And then, of course, the sound healing at the end was incredible. I got, it felt like I was being cleared through, all the way through. I got it ringing in the ears. My head was vibrating. A ball of love and light in my heart was incredible. And then my back was tingling. I just feel refreshed from going through that. So now we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's forecast reading. Sit back and enjoy. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 23rd of June 2025. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot card. So what I'm about to do is shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's forecast reading. Okay, so this is your card for this week. I'm now going to link into the energy of that. First of all, I'm being told from my guides, change is going to be occurring in your life this week. And you're going to have to trust and have faith, because everything's going to work out for the best for you, even at face value, if it appears like it's not going to do. Trust in the process. There's method in the madness, because there's lots of things happening behind the scenes energetically that are going to put all the pieces of the puzzle together. Also, I'm being told this week, watch out for your breathing. You'll find yourself maybe breathing anxiously, very quick, like that, and you need to slow the breathing down. Otherwise, you'll feel too lightheaded and you'll need to ground yourself even more. So do watch out for that process. This is nothing medical to concern yourself about. I do feel as though it's the energetic changes that are occurring in and around your vibration. Watch out for tingly fingertips as well this week. Again, this feels like it's an energy change, being increasingly more. This is the end of the free version of the weekly forecast reading. If you would like to see the entirety of this week's forecast reading, then you can do that by subscribing. And as a subscriber, what you will receive is the full version of the weekly forecast reading. You will also receive the audio for the weekly radio show, and also you'll receive 10% off all of my spiritual services there. So this includes all of the readings there for you to benefit from. And also you will receive new updates and information and news of what's happening with myself and the services that I provide, and also the events that I take part in. You'll hear all about that ahead of everybody else. And this is because you're a subscriber to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. So you can find a link either above or below this video, where by clicking on the link, you can then become a subscriber to reap all of the benefits that I've described to you. So I look forward to having you on this journey with me as a Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium subscriber. Thank you for taking time to watch this video and supporting the work that Spirit and myself work together in doing so. I hope you've enjoyed this week's show. If you have any questions you would like to ask the show, please contact me at www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com. It'd be great to answer your questions and talk about it in the show. Have a great week, everybody. Join me same place, same time next week. God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond.
For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to glennboddice spiritualmedium.com.